Hello, and welcome to your priority workspace in the Excel app. So this is probably where you're coming to us from, or maybe you're coming to us from social media or Etsy. Anyway, welcome. We're excited for you to be here and excited for you to forget the mental clutter and to start getting some things prioritized and completed. So this is probably the first page you've seen from us, and this is just the standardized either email or your explanation for how to fill out the priority matrix for us. The first thing you're going to be inclined to do, though, is download this to either your OneDrive, your Microsoft Excel Online, or to keep a copy on your desktop. So this is probably where you're going to start at a blank priority matrix sheet. This is what you probably have seen. And I'm just going to scroll down and zoom out a little bit so you can see more. So there are 3 sections as it states in the walkthrough over here. There are 3 sections. So there's this top section, which is just kind of the beginning part. It's where you're listing your tasks. It's also where you're going to find your final task list once you're finished filling it out. The second section is a matrix. This is probably what you're here for. It's really going to help you identify which tasks are the highest priority by giving them the highest score. Okay, and the third section down here, this is what's going to help you reorganize matching values and help you to specify tasks that are the highest priority but might get a little bit jumbled, and we'll go through this. So these are the 3. This is what it looks like, and let's get to filling one out. So here you can see one that is filled out and completed, and I just want to show you quickly things that are automated that you won't need to touch. So here at the top, from here, you'll see from the priority blank to this one that I have filled in the tasks. When you fill in the task, they're associated with a letter, so vacuum is letter A. You'll coordinate that throughout the sheet, but it doesn't matter which order you put your tasks in, right? So if they're just coming to you randomly in your head, like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, it doesn't matter. You can just put them in here however you wish. Okay, so that's this column here. The next column, this green column, you don't need to do anything. It will self-propagate the final task list once you have gone through all 3 sections of the sheet and completed the matrix. Okay, so you don't need to touch anything here. It will fill itself at the end. It's just a clear way at the top to reference back, like, what do I need to do? When do I need to do it? And what's the highest priority, what's not the highest priority, or like which order should I do the tasks in that fit my productivity level. So in the second section, this is the matrix, this is the, coup de grace, this is probably what you're here for. So we see this top, it's A through J, right? So it's coordinated with the task letter, and then each column is the task, right? So we have A, column B, column C. So what's happening here is that we're weighing each task against one other task. So it's not like, okay, I need to weigh vacuum against 9 other tasks. It's just individually like, okay, what do I need to do? A versus B, A versus C. This really helps to minimize and condense the overwhelm we find with task completion. Okay, the other thing you'll see at the top of each row is the task you've assigned. So like D is laundry. Again, this is self-propagating. You don't need to do anything. It's just automatically like this. The other thing is the only thing you're going to have to do and choose when you go through this is A versus B. So it's just vacuum versus mop, and then I can go through this entire column will be A versus J. So that's why we get this stair step image, because by the time we get to J, the only item we haven't weighed against J is I. So that's why there's only one, because it's only I versus J, and at that point all of J has now been completed. All right. The same thing. This row will always be whatever the column is versus I. Okay. The bottom mint row here is the sum of all of the letters for that specific column. So for its total, I chose A 4 times, okay? I chose B 5 times. I chose task C 6 times, so on and so on and so on, okay? And then And the third, when we get to our resource or section, we see here in the total automatically propagates and uploads the task totals. And then what we're really going to see, which is really important, is here. It's automatically telling us which tasks are matching. Okay, a simple way to go through this is that you will just vet these against what you've already said in the main. Okay, so here we have AEI, as just mentioned. All of these will come over here. It will give me a drop down of 3 choices. So all I'm going to do is go back up to my matrix. Again, getting out of that decision fatigue. I've already made the decision. So I'm just going to vet A versus E versus I, okay? I'm also going to look at the tasks I list to see, okay, which one do I want to do first? So I put in the choices between A versus E versus I just chose I. You know, bedding, I'm probably going to take my bedding off and put it in the laundry room just so it's there, it's out of the way. I can go ahead and I might remake my bed later, but I'll probably do that first before I vacuum and before I dust, right? Vacuuming and dust I'll probably do a little bit later as I finish my tasks. The same thing for tasks B and F, right? So that's a bit easier. I just go over here and see, okay, if B versus F, I chose F, right? Which makes sense. Like I'm going to do the bathroom before I mop because mopping is kind of the finishing touch. So now coming down to your final tasks list, you know, maybe it's not perfect, but it still gives you a clear trajectory of where you need to start, what you need to do, right? So I'm going to do the laundry. Like I said, I might go ahead and just move my bedding into the laundry room at some point. You know, down here, the grocery list versus clean out the fridge. Maybe I'll make the grocery list after I've cleaned out the fridge or as I'm doing it at the same time, but at least like they're in the vicinity of each other, right? What I'm doing when I'm doing it is close together, so it's like, okay, I can get this done. The dishes, it can very much mean like, okay, I'm going to go around and pick up all the dirty dishes and take them to the kitchen, right? Or wherever I do the dishes. So take this as basically a roadmap, but not a really stringent way to you have to do it this way. All right, if you have any questions and you need help doing this, please let us know. You can email us or you can message us through social media. And we hope you have a wonderful time forgetting the mental clutter and getting more productive.